Oh, yeah, so we are in Asia, the largest region in the world. Billions of people live here, millions of cultures, languages. That we have to say, it's not millions of languages. There are a lot of languages, but culture and context. As IRC, I think we have done great strive in terms of listening to our staff. Our next step will have to be that we engage with our clients, but I am super impressed by the carefulness with the importance our senior managers and others have taken the issue around sexual harassment, and moving forward I also would like to see that there is a true change in our everyday life on how we interact and how we do. Girl power is everything. If we start with our own children, things will change.
We work in a context where the gender gap is enormous in Afghanistan. In 2001, there were 0 girls in public schools, and now there are over 3 million, which is a huge advance, but it's still far short from where it should be, and many of the girls drop out. We had 2 of our own female staff attacked just for working. Only 16% of the labor force is women. There's enormous work to be done, and we are very grateful for the support that IRC provides for us to address this gap.
And we've had a great opportunity for COM to come and work with all of our staff, male and female, a couple of months ago. And I've really seen a big difference in the way we approach gender in Afghanistan. Just a change in mindset, especially for the women who now really are a lot more vocal with their needs, and they're contributing ways or ideas in how to grow professionally, and they would have never come up with these ideas had IRC not prioritized gender and provided this great resource that we hope to continue utilizing, not just through FY18, but throughout next year as well. So please keep up the good work and the focus on gender.
It's been great being at the Asia Regional Conference and hearing about the amazing gender equality work that different country programs have been pushing forward. 2 of my main reflections from this meeting have been that in some instances we can feel that the situation, the context is too difficult to make advances in gender equality, and that's just been shattered by the amazing achievements that we've seen in Afghanistan and Pakistan and other countries which are really hard to push forward these issues. The other reflection that I have is that for true gender equality transformative work, we really need to look at ourselves. We need to look at the views that we hold, the way that we act and the way that we speak. And so for true transformation to happen, it needs to happen here first before we can employ it in our own organisation. Thank you.
So I'm really inspired by how much gender came up throughout the conversation and during the course of this entire retreat. And I have 2 areas in particular that I'm interested in thinking more about. One is addressing gender internally as part of our workplace ethic, and thinking about how we might create an enabling workplace for gender sensitivity and equity. So for example, it's great that we have recruited a female driver, but what's it like for a single female driver to operate in a really male-dominated environment where she may not necessarily be supported by her colleagues in that role? So how do we think beyond just getting her into that role and think about her thriving in that role? And the other is a larger question connected to how the IRC is shifting perhaps from being a humanitarian organization to thinking across towards development. And what does that mean for how we want to think about problem solving and the root causes that drive a lot of the gender issues we see? Are we happy just thinking about gender sensitivity in our offerings, or are we interested in having conversations about how we might influence some of the root causes that take a long time to influence? And it doesn't mean we have to do it ourselves. It might mean partnerships with people that we hadn't thought to partner with before. So those are the 2 areas that are top of mind for me.
So I think it's been very interesting to have gender as a focus. In the Asia region, we've had some great examples of female leadership over the last few years at a regional level, country levels. And both Thailand and Malaysia are exceptional in that we actually have either very close to gender balance or more female staff in our offices. So I think it's great that we're continuously sort of being challenged of how do we look at that and not just think of gender issues in terms of women's issues, but gender balance as a whole, gender equality as a whole, including men as well. And that we keep asking ourselves questions that even though it might be easy to sort of sit back and say, oh, look, we've got a lot of women, we've got female leaders, what else do we need to do? There's still a lot to be done, and I think that's what I find interesting, that IRC's had this focus on how do we keep making gender part of the discussion, and that we keep challenging ourselves to look at our attitudes and beliefs and principles around gender and how we change that.
Inspiring to me has been learning about the different gender initiatives that are happening in the country teams, such as the group in Pakistan that gives women in the office an opportunity to sit together and talk and make sure that they have the space that they need. I grew up in a state where these things aren't really thought about that much, or at least they weren't when I was a kid. And so it's really exciting to see these initiatives taking place so that women have the space to be able to take advantage of opportunities and whatnot that maybe they wouldn't have in the past. Going forward, obviously I won't be with IRC for much longer, unfortunately, but I look forward to hearing about how these initiatives continue to expand and grow and provide more balance, more opportunity, and really help take advantage of all of the amazing skills and expertise that women have to offer within our organization. And also,
I feel very honored to be the part of the IRC and a part of a community which not only believes on the gender equality and equality in general, but also takes some practical steps to promote and ensure the equality and particularly the gender equality in the organization. And the sort of practical steps being taken by the IRC that gives a lot of comfort and confidence to me that we will have the gender equality in a real sense in a countries particularly which are lacking behind in gender equality.
For me, coming to this conference and focusing on gender, I think what I have been really impressed by is that I've seen a really big change in how we perceive the importance of gender in our programs. Not only are we taking what we've already acknowledged, but we're going to be building on that into the next fiscal year, and I think that that's really exciting and really important for an organization with our values.
I'm very glad to know that all the Asian region countries are committed to work more on gender equality mainstreaming within their programs. So Myanmar is also one of the countries committed to keep maintaining the momentum of to put some regulations and policies within our programs for the gender related issues. And in our program, we are working closely, the programs and operation, the support staff are working closely, for all the gender related issues. We understand that it's not only for the, the program, not only for the, even not only for the, our staff, it is also needed for the, our clients, our beneficiaries.